Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Embracing Joy podcast. And I'm so excited to have this interview today with Gina Coil. I'm going to tell you a lot more about her in just a minute. So, Gina Coil is the founder of Colorful Living, and she's the creator of NeuroScenes, which is a form of storyline meditation that helps people reconnect with their inner light and find their color again. Through her work, Gina blends mindfulness, imagination, and emotional healing to guide others out of survival mode and back into vibrant, authentic living. Her mission is to remind people that the color they've been searching for has been within them all along. It's such a pleasure to have you, and you're such a colorful person there. It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me. I love getting the chance to meet new people and spread the message of how joy in our lives is so important and sometimes hard to get. So I'm excited to talk to you about it today.
Thank you. So before we get started, we will play our game, which is called Convergence. We'll close our eyes and say the first word that comes to mind on the count of three.
Okay.
So 1, 2, 3. Pink.
Tree.
I don't know why pink, because I saw pink.
And I said tree.
Tree.
I
Okay.
don't know why. Maybe because it's Christmas time. I don't know.
So something that connects those two somehow.
Pink and
The word already popped into my mind. Maybe yours, if you're ready.
Okay.
So 1, 2, 3.
Cookie.
Flamingo.
Oh, that was a
Because
good one. Yeah.
I was thinking tree, like birds or
Yes,
fly.
and I'm thinking a pink tree cookie, like a that's in the shape of a pink tree. My imagination, though, can be very vivid, so
That's good. So
okay,
the
so flamingo?
cookie and flamingo, and we could be more broad, something that connects the two somehow. It could be anything. Okay. The
Okay,
first word that just pops there is
alright.
1, 2, 3.
Beach.
Pigeon.
Oh my goodness.
I'm in the birds. 'Cause
Oh,
I was
connecting it,
thinking
yes, and
the
I'm
cookie
thinking
crumb.
flamingo beach, because there could be cookies on the beach with your flamingos.
Oh, the beach makes sense.
Uh,
Yeah.
oh my goodness. So
Okay. So they're both connected somehow, but we connected it differently. So we'll see
right.
what we
Okay.
connect now. So now it's a pigeon and a beach.
Okay.
And you can pick anything, like
Okay.
something connects it somehow. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Sunset.
Sky. Oh, we were
Ah,
close.
yeah, I was thinking
Sky.
sky or sunset.
Yes, that's nice. Yeah, that was very
Okay,
close.
that's very close. So we could wrap it up or we can try again. Let's do it one more time.
Okay, so something
Okay.
is okay.
Sunset and sky,
Okay.
something that connects the two. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Sun.
Clouds.
Oh, I
Oh,
almost said clouds. That was like the sun. It's like
because sunset
I was sunning
already
clouds. It's
set.
right there.
Yeah, yeah. So I think we were there at
Yes,
clouds pretty much. Yeah, so it's just a fun game. There's no right or wrong answer. It's just to
I love it.
get our
Yeah,
creative juices going and to say the first thing that comes to our mind and not to overthink. So great.
that was fun.
So with your work, Gina, with the colorful living and the neuroscenes, tell us more about the neuroscenes actually, because some people, our listeners, may not kind of understand what you're doing with your neuroscenes.
So it's funny because when I messaged you my little bio for you to read at that time, because that was weeks ago at least, I was calling them storyline meditations because I thought it was meditation. I was having people close their eyes, I was getting them into a relaxed state, and then I was kind of reading them a story. So I thought, okay, I guess that's what I'm going to call it. What I didn't realize as I started researching more, talking to some professionals that know a little bit more about guided imagination therapeutic modalities. And then I started reading a little bit more about neuroplasticity, how it works, and the use of imagination. And I had this feedback from the participants that have been trying these scenes for the last 6 months. And I knew from their feedback that this was something different, something unique. I had been practicing meditation for 5 years. Yes, it calmed me. Yes, it relaxed me. Yes, I contribute meditation to a lot of my peaceful and joyful existence that I feel I get to experience on a daily basis. But I knew what I was doing was different. So, neuroscenes, I'm now referring to them as neuroimagination experiences, and they are a way for your brain to practice feeling calm, joy, peace by letting me guide you through a story that in the story it's very vividly described. There's a beginning, a middle, and an end. You go on kind of a little guided journey in your mind, but as I'm guiding you through things, as we look at something, you might feel calm wash through you. And I engage all of your senses. So we use smell, we use taste, we use sight and sound. There's special music behind it, sound effects, things like that. So when you're engaging all these centers of the brain in a relaxed state, your body really doesn't know the difference. And the more you practice and rehearse feeling those feelings while you're in a session or a scene, it follows you through because that's when your brain's being reprogrammed for that to be your new baseline.
That's wonderful to have a new baseline of calm and relaxation by, you know, having an experience where you get to experience it and as a try, almost like a trial. Like this is how it could be if you were in a more relaxed state, because you're able to get there in a story so that you can take that story into your daily life. Tell me more about how, high achievers are constantly doing. How do you help them slow down enough to feel and kind of reclaim that joy within? You kind of explained a little bit through the story, but how does this particularly help our high achievers?
So, one of the things I wanted to give, and I'll get to that in a minute, something that they can do, even if it's just not a scene. It's a technique that I've used in some of my classes it's all about controlling our state, right? Our emotions, the way we feel. High achievers tend to have the brain that never stops processing information. We're always thinking about, okay, we have to get this done, then this. And I feel like high achievers do a very good job of compartmentalizing the different areas of their life so that they can be high achieving, usually in all areas. I mean, most high achievers, they're high achieving in all of their areas. They're, rocking the mom life, they're rocking corporate or their profession, but yet at the same time, they find it difficult to get the pockets of time that they are fully allowed to let go. And I look at society today, high achievers and everyone. And if you look at how many times in a day, in 10 minutes, we are perceiving the outside information coming in and allowing our almost reactions to do this roller coaster all the time. If you think about it, even if you were just scrolling, which isn't that what a lot of us do to turn off our minds? It's at the end of the night, we grab our phones, we're like, you know what? I want to just scroll through social media and let my mind watch some funny cat videos, do these. And so we're rolling through here thinking that this is our way of disconnecting. But yet, through every video we scroll, here's one that does make us laugh. Okay, that's a little bit of joy. We're kind of feeling that. The next one could be upsetting. Maybe we see something on the news or something. And then the next one could be something that upsets us because we don't agree with it. It kind of
Mhm.
and we're triggered. And so what we don't realize is that 10 minutes of time we thought that we were going to get a little break and a little, disconnect, we ended up seeing and experiencing all these reactions to what we see. And that's how we tend to function with reaction all the time instead of being able to respond and almost choose the emotion that we want to choose. And that's where I think mindfulness work, breath work, anything, my neuroscenes, anything that helps you stop, reset, and then change whatever you were feeling. So I like to teach, I call it the rainbow reset method. Everything obviously is color with me, but
Mhm.
it's literally just picking 3 songs and making a reset playlist. The first song is going to be a song that your body tends to relax. It's going to be something that soothes you, something you feel calms you. The second song is going to be a song that you feel just starts to make you feel happy. Maybe it's the lyrics. Maybe it is something that reminds you of a happy time in your life or your past. It doesn't matter. Happy is the sensation we're going for. The third song, maybe something that fires you up. So this playlist, obviously you can curate it any way you want and to design to do what you need it to do. But the object is listening to the playlist with your eyes closed, something covering your eyes, and being fully immersed and present as you listen to all 3 songs. It's going to take you 10 minutes. And when you come out on the other side of that, if you were angry or you were unmotivated or you had to tap into it really doesn't matter what, it takes you through that nice journey of a complete overhaul reset. So that's one of the techniques I teach in one of my classes that I think has been very, very helpful, as well as before you walk into the door for your family, taking a few minutes in your car to leave work in the vehicle. I've taught this as well. Pick a song that helps you almost imagine all of the work unloading into the vehicle. You can make your images up. Our imaginations can be active anytime. Let the almost stress look like clouds and it's just going to leak out and stay in the car. And when you shut the door, you're leaving that in there so that when you walk in the door, you can be fully present with your kids, fully present with life because you took a few minutes to do something that symbolizes the close or end of that high pressure, high stress environment and the opening of into now I get to enjoy. Now I get to experience. Now I get to be present. And then obviously trying to discipline ourselves from the distraction. But those are kind of my 2 techniques that I think can really help in the moment. And you don't need anything special to do that.
Thanks for sharing those techniques. It sounds like something that any of us can try, and it's something that it feels fun to try too, because most of us love music, and we definitely don't want to take our all of the feelings from work, the hard feelings, the decisions that you made home, and you want to have a empty slate or a bright slate for your family, and you want to be there for your family, and they can tell when you're distracted with feelings from work. So having techniques to to close off work and to go into home fully refreshed is something that sounds very inviting. With that said, many high achievers are so focused on achieving the next goal that they sometimes miss the joy in the present. What are some simple ways you've seen people reconnect with joy, even in the middle of chaos or pressure or stress?
I truly believe that our imagination is the key to unlocking more joy in our life. And
Excuse me.
oh, you're good. We tend to lose that as we get older. We have vivid imaginations as we are children. And then as we age, it's almost like life tells us that isn't important anymore and you don't need to do that. So, engaging it during normal activities and making things fun. So, one of the things that I do is I create little games for myself. And my kids know I'm very silly. I've owned companies since I was 23. I That's when I bought my first hair salon, and I have 4 kids. So, I know what it's like to have to wear all these hats, and yet I feel be robbed of joy, and there were a lot of years that I lived that. What I have incorporated over the past few, and it has helped so much, is bringing elements of play into my day in silly ways. And if you have kids, it's going to make it even more fun to be around them. And what I mean is a simple act of like loading the dishwasher and doing the dishes. Make it a game, make it fun, time yourself, put music on, do something that turns that act that typically you either you let your mind go into the past of what, the day what you usually going through your day, or
Mhm.
you're worrying about the future, you're thinking, and instead you disconnect, be fully present. I do a race game because I like to challenge myself to load it as fast as I can in an accurate way. Almost like it's like a game of Tetris for me because I want to maximize the load, right? I want to make sure we all have our systems to loading the dishwasher. So when you take it and give it that extra level of, you know what, this little task right here, I can be present fully, not let my mind look out the window and think about, oh, I don't really want to see those clients tomorrow, or oh, I have to do that. One more cup in, one more cup in. Or we're annoyed that the kids didn't rinse the fruity pebbles out of the bowl and they're now chiseled on there like cement. And we're literally frustrated from scratching them off the bowl. That has been me at times. I started to realize, like, you know what? I have a choice. I have a choice, or I can say, how fast can I get these off the bowl? And let me see. And so I'll make it and do it a completely different way. I even do that sometimes with making, the bed or cleaning, and I'll make it some kind of game or fun. So that's a way to snap back into the present moment and be fully present for the task that you're doing at hand, which is a nice break for your brain.
Wow, wow, thank you. And I think that is a very fun way of doing the things that you dread, that we most of us dread doing, definitely making things a game. With that being said, we've kind of spoken a lot about some techniques that we can use to bring about more joy in our lives, especially with high achieving people who are constantly doing. How do you help them kind of slow down so that they can feel and reclaim that joy from within?
I feel like slowing down is going to look different to every person. Now, of course, in NeuroScenes, one of the very first things that we do is help you through somatic breathing, where you're breathing in for 4, maybe holding for 5, exhaling for 6, or even inhaling for 5 or 6, exhaling for 8 or 9. If it's something that you really want to feel decompression, that like release of the stress, breathing is one of the fastest ways to get you there. And a longer exhale than an inhale is probably the quickest way. Because if you think about it, when we are walking around holding all of that stress, usually in our solar plexus, and we're in that fight or flight mode, we're in high performance mode all day long. A lot of
Mhm.
times we're shallow breathing during that time. We're not really letting our central nervous system unload and get a chance to really exhale fully. So even if it's just as simple as a breath technique, or even like that technique in the car, or the music technique. It's that we have to signal that this is our time, that we get to relax, that we get to unwind, that we get to feel calm. It is not a switch, right, that we can turn on and turn off. It's like we need a little bit of a bridge to get there. So that might look like running after work or going for a walk. Nature for me is a very big, I can go outside for 5 minutes, come in and feel a more relaxed state. Maybe it is music. Maybe it's just a hot shower. And I know these things sound very routine, but it becomes a tool when you set the intention to identify that habit or task with a new meaning. So if you're going to assign the meaning of, this is my entry point to relaxation when I get the shower, then I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do that. And you find you almost have to explore and test what makes your body feel relaxed. Again, everybody's, I call it like your color code. We all have a unique color code. What works for me might not be the same. And it can take an exploration process to figure out, is it for me? I ended up doing swimming. I never thought I would get back in the pool. I did not swim since I was a child, and I have a pool. For
Mhm.
20 years, I would take one annual dip in the pool and the kids would laugh. They would, "Mom's taking her annual dip." And I decided one day, you know what? I'm gonna see if I can swim laps at the local Y. I had a membership. I'm like, my knee was bothering me from running and walking, and I thought, I need something low impact until my knee stops hurting. I fell in love with swimming, and I never thought that would actually happen. I wasn't a swimmer. And what I realized is swimming was almost like a form of meditation for me. It had rhythmic breathing, right? It was silence. I got so many great ideas and inspiration in that time. And I do it at least 2, 3 times a week. It's finding what is that thing that unlocks that feeling. And I urge people to explore, what was it when you were a child? Did you like to draw? Did you like to paint? Were you outside all the time? Did you love to read? And ask yourself, when's the last time you've read a novel for fun? Because a lot of high achievers are reading the next best self-help book, and they're not allowing themselves to slip into the escape of something like that. And maybe that's something they enjoyed. So look back, because you'll have clues that are there. Try to remember what made you happy as a child and ask yourself, are you doing any of that today in your life? And bring a little bit of that back in. It makes a huge difference.
That is such a poignant question. Like, what made you happy as what made you happy as a child? We've discussed this in previous episodes as well, because it's so important to find that inner joy and that childlike joy that you had, and what was happy to you then, what made you happy then, most likely is something that you will still enjoy if you had time to do it, or if you make an effort to do it. So thank you for all of those techniques that you offered, as well as the explanations about the neuroscenes and the taking us through what you do and how you help so many people achieve a calmer state and a more joyous state. So, with that being said, who is a model for joy in your life and why? And what qualities did they have?
I think I answered this. I think you had given me the question before we started, and my answer
Mhm,
was children, I'm pretty sure,
mhm.
because it wasn't like I could pick one person. And I feel when we look at children as examples of what pure joy looks like, it's very easy to see and feel. And anytime you're around a child who is happy, obviously they have periods of time where they're not joyful and happy, but they can really move throughout their day. If you think about it, their main mission is to be joyful and happy. Kids don't want to be angry, something makes them angry. Kids don't want to be sad, something makes them sad. Their default programming is joy, happiness, imagination, and play. And when I have 3 nieces, and I love to immerse myself in their world and create experiences where I can kinda feel a little bit of that youthful magic again. Like, we went to some Christmas things over the weekend, and I bought a hot pink sequin Santa hat, and I bought them 3 different colors, but I wore one right along with them to kind of have that experience where and I didn't look at my phone. I didn't like, it's just when you're with a child, try to be as present as you can. My mom taught me that years ago. She was a caregiver for young children for a lot of the years that I was growing up, and she always told me, "Give them 100% of your attention. The laundry will still be there, the housework will still be there when you're done, but they're only young for a short period of time. Let the dishes pile up a little bit, do them after they go to bed, or even if it's only a small period of time, still give them 100% of your attention." And even with teenagers, because now my children are approaching, they're between ages 18 and 26.
Mhm.
For a lot of their high school years, I would literally set a timer in my phone to try to intentionally give my child 10 minutes of undivided time in the day. And I know that sounds crazy. I ask all moms right now that have moms of teenagers and young adults, start tracking how much time they actually talk to you in one day. I realized very quickly after I started to do this that they weren't even talking to me one on one for a solid 10 minutes in a 24-hour period because they come and go, they're busy, right?
Mhm.
And so I started making it my intention to seek them out, even if it was a 5-minute window here and a 5-minute window there. Then eventually, what I found happened is because of my intentional doing that, they ended up starting to seek me out. And it was a way that I could increase connection with my children and start to realize that it's not always the quantity of time, it's the quality. So even if you only have 10 minutes because you do have a high performing, high pressure career, just make that 10 minutes the best 10 minutes you can. And I'm telling you, it's going to change the mom guilt. It's going to change the way you feel, and your kids are going to notice it too. Because 10 solid minutes of pure attention, even if they act like they don't want it at first, will mean more to them than periods of your time through the day where you're scattered, you're doing, and you're half listening to them.
Mhm. Well, thank you for that, because are children are in general full of joy and imagination. So definitely one of the models for joy for many of us. If you were baking a cake of joy, excuse me, a metaphorical cake of joy, what are the top 3 ingredients and why?
I think I remember saying, well, what comes to my head immediately is imagination, gratitude, and love. I believe that's what I answered. I'm not 100%, but I feel like those are the 3 ingredients needed to experience joy in life because one, I feel like love is the greatest power in the universe. And anytime we unlock it, we're instantly elevating our state and our emotions to feel that. One of the easiest ways to produce love on demand is to just visualize the people you love in a golden, you can picture the sun, put their faces in it, and just sit for a moment with your eyes closed and feel your love for them in your chest. Just that is so calming. And then imagination, I feel, is the key. It's the missing piece. And it can unlock more creativity in your job, higher problem solving skills, easier clarity. So many things can be unlocked through accessing that pathway that is easily accessible as we're children and bringing it into adulthood. And then gratitude. Everything is better, flows easier. And when you just take a moment to focus on all the things that you do have, and it's almost like being grateful for the simplest things.
Mhm.
like your desk that you're sitting at, which no one really thinks to be grateful for just their desk. But when we can take a moment to feel gratitude for the tiniest things, it changes the way we see what we're trying to achieve also. Because as you said in the beginning of this session, a lot of high achievers are constantly chasing the next carrot that they put for themselves.
Mhm.
And I don't know about you, but I experienced this with one of my major goals was to get this dream car. I had it on a vision board for 23 years, and I looked at it and I had this picture of this was the car that was going to be the marker of success for me financially when I could get when I could walk into the dealership, buy that car, and it was instant. And I remember after I was driving it for 2 weeks, I was like, is this all that I'm gonna feel? Like, I felt the feeling for about a week, and I started to think, "What is going on?" And I did that with many milestones in my 30 years, and I started to realize that's not where the fulfillment actually comes from. Now, you're fine to set those material goals, but I feel the true source of fulfillment, this is why there's millionaires and billionaires that aren't really experiencing lives of joy, right?
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
the material possessions are not going to be what really truly unlocks the level of joy that I feel people are constantly searching for. So when you can start to get joy from the things that you already have around you and have this really great state of gratitude for what you have in the present, it changes the dynamic in the chasing of that next goal. And you can almost, if you want, be grateful for that goal that you're setting before you even achieve it and allow yourself to feel that feeling of gratitude for already getting there in the present moment, which allows you to stay in that state where you don't feel like the state is only going to happen when or if you get that. It's practicing that right now, the way life is, and trying to access that as many times throughout your day as you can.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Those are just top ingredients for joy, really. And gratitude is one of the main ingredients. So, and it to help you feel more joyful and calm and at peace. So, with that being said, that is the end of our questions. But how can our audience, if they wanted to contact you, well, learn more about NeuroScenes and what you do, how do we direct them? What is the best?
So just going to ginacoil.com. It will have links to everything, to all the socials. So it's very easy. And coil just like a actual coil.
Great. So, yes. So, definitely. And
Mhm.
the link will be in the description as well.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to today's episode. If you liked it, make sure to comment, make sure to subscribe, and tune in to the next episode as well. Take care. Have a joyful rest of your day or evening, whenever you're listening to this. Take care.
Thank you so much for having me. I had a great time.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you, Gina.
Mhm.